Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Physics with Avinash. Today we are going to start a very beautiful chapter electricity presented by me, chapter 1. So let us start the content, right, what we are going to study in this chapter. Introduction, electric current and circuit, electric potential and potential difference, Ohm's law, factors on which resistance of a conductor depends, resistors in series, resistance in parallel, heating effect of electric current and application, electric power. So all these things we are going to deal one by one. Now let us start the introduction part. Electricity has an important place in a modern society. It is controllable and convenient form of energy for variety of uses in homes, schools, hospitals, and so on. We all know that electricity is very essential for living. Without electricity, we can't live in a modern society. So now the question obviously comes: what constitute electricity? How does it flow in an electric circuit? So we are going to answer such questions in the coming classes. Now let us start about electric current and a circuit. Electric current is expressed by the amount of charges. Yes, electric current is expressed by the amount of charges flowing through a particular area in unit time. In other words, it is the rate of flow of electric charges. Right. So just imagine this is a conductor and the charges are flowing, right? The charges are flowing in a conductor, right? The amount of charges flowing in a conductor in a unit time, that we call it the electric current, or the rate of flow of electric charges, also we call it as a electric current. In simple words, the flow of electrons in a conductor in a particular direction, we call it as a electric current. If a net charge q flows across any cross section of a conductor in time t, then the current I through the cross section is given as I equal to q by t. Just see q, the amount of charge is flowing in a particular area or in a conductor in time t, right? If a q charge flowing through a conductor in time t, then electric current, that is I, can be given as q by t, where I is electric current, q is electric charge, and t is time. Now let us study about the structure of atom. We all know that electricity, right, electric charges causes the electricity. Okay. Now we will study about the structure of atom. So what is basically an atom? An atom is the smallest particle of a matter. So what is matter? Matter means anything which occupies space and a mass. So we know that there are two types of charges. One is positive charge and negative charges, right? An atom consists of proton and neutron in the nucleus, and electrons are revolving around the nucleus. Just go and watch that. So let us study about a simple circuit. A simple circuit is a closed loop. It consists of electrical appliances like a light bulb, switch, battery, and resistance. So a lot of things. So that we call it as a simple circuit. So that's it. Next we'll study about a little bit what is the SI unit of electric charge and what is the SI unit of ammeter or electric current, right? So the SI unit of electric charge is coulomb. The electric current is expressed by a unit called ampere. Let us define 1 ampere, right? 1 ampere is equal to 1 coulomb per 1 second. That means how you are going to define a 1 ampere? When we can tell a 1 ampere, when 1 coulomb of charge is flowing in 1 second. When coulomb of charge is flowing in 1 second, that we call as a 1 ampere, right? An instrument called ammeter measures electric current in a circuit. You can see here ammeter, right? Ammeter is a device or instrument which is used to measure the electric current, and ammeter always connect in series and voltmeter is always connected in parallel. Just if you whenever you're going to design any electric circuit, you have to keep in your mind that ammeter always connected in series and voltmeter is always connected in parallel. So next we are going to start a very important subtopic: electric potential and potential difference. So we define the electric potential between 2 points in an electric circuit carrying some current as a work done to move a unit charge from one point to other, right? So I hope you have saw a water flowing in a pipe, right? So how water will flow from a pipe, right, from higher potential to lower potential. The same way here, right, the charges will also flow from higher potential to lower potential. So I will explain that with the this simple circuit, right. So you can see here the battery, right, this is a positive and negative terminal, right. This positive terminal we call it as a higher potential, and negative terminal we call it as a lower potential, right. The electrons or charges are already present in the conductor. The battery doesn't produce electrons or charges. The battery only drives the electric current, or it will pushes the charges to flow, right. So when the force is applied to these charges starts flowing from higher potential to lower potential, right. Who are moving? The charges are moving. When charges are moving, they will do some current. That's what potential difference can be defined as carrying some current to do a work from higher potential to lower potential, right. Or you can define in simple way that the movement of charges from higher potential to lower potential which will do some work, right. That we call it as a potential difference, right. So here you can see how we are going to express a mathematically. So mathematically V equal to W divided by Q, right. V equal to W divided by Q. The SI unit of electric potential difference is volt, right. So here we can see next part. So potential difference, it is given by potential difference equal to work done divided by quantity of charge moved, right. So who is moving in the circuit, right, the charges are moving, right. So V equal to W by Q. So where W is work done and Q is quantity of charge moved. The SI unit of potential difference is volt, right. The SI unit of potential difference is volt, and 1 volt, how you are going to define a 1 volt now. If you want to define a 1 volt, 1 joule of work done in 1 coulomb by 1 coulomb, right. So if a charge is moving, a 1 coulomb of charge is moving, when it will do a 1 joule of work, that we call it as a 1 volt, right. Next we'll let us guys see these are the important electrical symbols which will help you people to when you're going to design a circuit, when you're going to design a circuit. So these symbols are very very important. Why we are using these electrical symbol? Because every time we cannot draw this lamp like this, it doesn't look in the circuit, doesn't look good in the circuit. So that's why we have electrical symbols, right. If you want electric cells, so electric cell is represented by this one. It is having one positive plate and it is having one negative plate. Battery, it is a group of cells. We can see plug key open and plug key close, right. A wire joint, lamp, so many are there, right. Lamp, resistance, variable resistance, rheostat, ammeter, voltmeter, fuse. So these all are symbols of circuit diagrams which will help you to design a electric circuit. So next one more subtopic we are going to start. It's very very important, Ohm's law. So let us define or state what exactly Ohm's law. Ohm's law states that potential difference P across ends of a given metallic wire in an electric circuit is directly proportional to the current flowing through it, right. So what Ohm's law states that applying current, right, applying current is directly proportional to voltage, or voltage is directly proportional to current when resistance kept constant, right, when others parameters are constant, right. So you can see here V equal to IR. So I'll just take the pen, right. Once again I'll define what is Ohm's law. Ohm's law states that a potential difference between any ends of the conductor is directly proportional to electric circuit in the current flowing through it, or current is directly proportional to voltage, or current is inversely proportional to a resistance, right. So you can see here I is equal to, you can define I is directly proportional to V and I is inversely proportional to R. So what is resistance and all we are going to study in coming classes, right. So when you apply so when current is directly proportional to voltage, when you remove this proportionality, so we will get a constant variation, right. So we will get a constant, that is I is directly proportional to V and I is inversely proportional to R. So when you combine, we will get this part, current is directly proportional to voltage and current is inversely proportional to resistance. So once again I'll define or the statement I'll give what is Ohm's law. So Ohm's law states that the potential difference V across the ends of a given metallic wire in an electric circuit is directly proportional to the current flowing through it, or else you can define in terms of current also. Ohm's law states that current is directly proportional to voltage and current is inversely proportional to resistance. So you can define like this also. I hope you people are understanding. Series of resistance of a conductor depends. So first let us study what is exactly resistance. Resistance according to Ohm's law, it is inversely proportional to current. So using this we can define that it will oppose the flow of electric current, or in simple words it is a enemy of electric current. So resistance of the conductor depends on its length, on its area of cross section, on the nature of its material, on its temperature, right? Resistance of a conductor is directly proportional. So like here we can study, right? Resistance of a uniform metallic conductor is directly proportional to length. So R is directly proportional to L, right? And inversely proportional to the area of cross section. R is inversely proportional to A. Okay, right? So when you add these things here, resistance is directly proportional to length of a conductor, resistance is inversely proportional to area of cross section, right? R is directly proportional to L and R is inversely proportional to A. When you are going to remove this constant of proportionality, we will get a resistivity. So right, resistance is equal to resistivity when L and A is equal to 1 meter, right? When length and area of a conductor is equal, then resistance is equal to the resistivity, right? So you can see here, you can see here now. So this is what exactly, imagine a conductor, right? Conductor, as the length of a conductor increases, it offers more resistance, right? As the width of the conductor increases, what happens? The resistance of that conductor will reduces, right? When the width of the resistance increases, what happens? The current can flow very easily, right? When the length of the conductor increases, it offers a more resistance. That is the meaning. Now we are going to continue the resistance of a system. Resistance of a systems are connected in two ways, right? Resistance can be connected in series connection and it can be connected in a parallel. So when we can see a series connection, right, end to end connection, right, when one end of a resistance is connected to another end, right, so or a chain reaction, so that we call it as a series connection. So what exactly will happen in series connection? The current will be same, right? The current will same and voltage will drops, right? Voltage will drops, right? It will here one voltage and here one more voltage, right? Voltage will drops. So when you are going to apply a Ohm's law, so what happen? V equal to I into Rs, right? So total voltage is equal to sum of the individual voltage, right? V1 plus V2 plus V3. This is V1 and this is V2. So like that. Sorry. So according to when you are going to apply a Ohm's law, V equal to what? IRs, and V1 equal to IR1, V2 equal to I into R2, and V3 equal to I R3, right? V1 equal to I into Rs, right? So when you write this one, IRs equal to, right, I into R1 and R2, right? When you remove this constant of proportionality, sorry, when you are going to take I as a common here, R1 plus R2 plus R3, sorry, Rs equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. So we can define as a series connection as total resistance is equal to sum of individual resistance are connected in series, right? So next, this what resistance in parallel. How to define resistance in parallel, right? When all the resistance, one end of a resistance are connected to one common point and another end of a resistance are connected to another common point, so that combinedly we call it as a resistance in parallel. Okay, so you can see here resistance in parallel, equivalent resistance can be defined as, right? So here what happened, the current will divide, right? How their voltage will drops takes place in series connection. Here what happened, the current will divide. So that's what total sum of total current equal to sum of the individual current in connected in parallel connection. When you are going to apply Ohm's law, so we get V by R1 plus V by R2 plus V by R3 equal to V divided by R equivalent, right? When you take a V common here, when you take V common here, we'll get 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3 equal to 1 by R equivalent, right? So you can define a parallel resistance in way, right? The total reciprocal of resistance is equal to sum of the reciprocal of the individual resistance connected in parallel, right? The reciprocal of resistance, equivalent resistance, is equal to sum of the reciprocal of the individual resistance connected in series. This is all about the parallel connection. Cover heating effect of electric current. There are three types of effects of current. So one is heating effect of electric current, another one is magnetic effect of electric current, and one more is chemical effect of electric current, right? Let us study what they are exactly. When you pass the electric current, due to that heat is produced, so that we call it as a heating effect of electric current. When you pass the electric current, due to that the conductor behaves like a magnet, so that we call it as a magnetic effect of electric current. When you pass the electric current into the aqueous solution, the ion participation takes place, or there is an exchange of ion, so that we call it as a chemical effect of electric current. Okay, so now we'll go in detail about heating effect of electric current, which is there for our syllabus. We know that battery or a cell is a source of electric energy. The chemical reaction within the cell generates potential difference that sets the electron in motion to flow current through resistors. Consider current I. Okay, consider current I is flowing through a resistors R. Let the potential difference across it be V. Let the t with the time during which a charge Q flows across. The work done in moving the charge Q through the potential difference V is given as V into Q. So that is what W equal to V into Q, right? What is Q here? It is electric charge, and V is a voltage, right, or potential difference, right? The Q is moving, right? Why the Q charges are flowing? Because voltage is applied. So when voltage is applied, what happen? It will do some work, right? W equal to V into Q. So here we will study in detail, right? So what is exactly W equal to what? Q into V. I told you already, right? V is potential difference is applied to the conductor, and electrons or charges are already present in the conductor. So when your potential difference is applied, the charges starts flowing, right? When the charges are flowing, so they are doing some work. That is what W equal to Q into V. So what is power? Power equal to work done in a unit time, right? So work done is what here? It is Q into V. So we'll just substitute W in the place of W, Q into V, and T is as it is. So just go to the back. So we learned what is exactly electric current. Electric current equation we have given I is equal to Q divided by T. So that we have to substitute here in the place of I. So Q by T equal to what? I. So power equal to what we'll get? I into V. So heat energy is what? Power into time. So in the place of power we'll substitute V, I and T. So that's what according to Ohm's law, V equal to what? I into R. So when you substitute V into I here, so according to Ohm's law, what happened? V equal to what? I into R. In the place of V, will substitute I into R. So and already one more I is there, so we'll get I into I get multiplied, we'll get I square into R into T. So right, so here we'll study about now Joule's law of heating. So what Joule's law of heating states that, right, heat is directly proportional to square of the current, okay, and heat is directly proportional to resistance, and heat is directly proportional to time. So this is what exactly Joule's law of heating. The law implies that heat produced in a resistors is directly proportional to the square if a current for a given current, directly proportional to the resistance for a given current, directly proportional to the time for which the current flows through the resistor. So let us study about the applications of heating effect. Okay, see, I already told you when electricity is passed to this tungsten, right? Whenever any electricity is passed to a conductor, what happen? The heat is produced, right? Here also in the tungsten, when electricity is passed, so heat is produced. So due to this heat, it will emit the light. So this is one applications of heating effect of electric current. And next to fuses, right? So let us study what exactly fuse. An electric fuse is a device which is used to limit the current in an electric circuit. It is a device which is used to limit in the current in an electric circuit. The fuse protects the circuit and the electrical appliances from being damaged. When there is too much current, the fuse melt. Okay, so let us study how it will work here. So you can see here, so this is like what exactly a fuse wire. So when you pass a electric current, so this wire will get melted, right? When the wire will get melted, it will disconnect. So when it will disconnect, there is no flow of electric current. So due to this, so what happen, it will protect the electrical appliance. So this is what exactly the working of fuse. So now here we'll study the electric power. So electric power equal to what? Work done in a unit time. The equation of power can be given as power equal to I into V, which we already learned. So power equal to I square into R. So how we will get this? So when you are going to substitute I value, so I equal to what? We will get, right, I equal to, according to Ohm's law, we have I equal to V by R. So right, when you substitute I equal to V by R, so we'll get V square by R. So when you are going to substitute I value, right, we'll get V square by R. When you are going to substitute V value, we'll get I square into R. So what is exactly P here? P is power, V is potential difference, I is current, R is resistance, W is work done, and T is time taken for the work done to be done.